In the depths of space, where empires crumble and legends fade, a lone figure emerges from the shadows of betrayal. Once hailed as a hero, now scorned as an outcast. With vengeance in their heart and justice on their mind, they wage war against the corrupt forces that stole their legacy. Can one person rewrite the stars? Or will the galaxy remain shackled under the weight of tyranny? Subscribe now to embark on this epic journey through the cosmos. The starship Eclipse's Edge drifted silently among the asteroid fields of the Xylo system. Its hull was pockmarked with scars from countless battles, each dent a testament to its storied past. Inside, Captain Kale Veron stood at the helm, his cybernetic arm glowing faintly as he adjusted the controls. The once celebrated leader of the Free Fleet now found himself alone, exiled from the very people he had sworn to protect. Kale's mind replayed the events that led to this moment. It had all started when Commander Eric Lorne accused him of treason during the Battle of Vega Prime. Allegations of betraying the fleet had spread like wildfire, fueled by whispers of greed and ambition. But Kale knew the truth. He had never abandoned his comrades. Instead, he had sacrificed everything to ensure their survival against overwhelming odds. As the ship sensors picked up an approaching vessel, Kale activated the comms. "This is Kale Veron aboard the Eclipse's Edge. Identify yourself." His voice carried a steel resolve, masking the turmoil within. The response came swiftly, laced with menace. "Stand down, traitor. You're surrounded." Kale smirked, his fingers dancing over the console. He had faced worse odds before. This time would be no different. The incoming vessel matched Kale's pace, its sleek design unmistakable. It belonged to Admiral Corvus Drax, the enforcer of the Galactic Council. Known for his ruthless efficiency, Drax had been tasked with hunting down those who defied the Council's authority. Kale's exile made him a prime target. "Captain Veron," Drax's cold voice echoed through the speakers. "Your crimes cannot go unpunished. Surrender your ship and face judgment." Kale leaned back in his chair, his crimson cybernetic eye locking onto the enemy vessel. "Judgment?" he spat. "Your so-called justice is nothing but oppression. I won't let you silence me again." With a flick of his wrist, Kale triggered the Eclipse's defenses. Energy shields flared to life, deflecting the initial barrage of missiles. His crew, those few loyalists who remained, mobilized quickly. Gunners took positions at the turrets, while engineers scrambled to repair damaged systems. "This is it," Kale muttered to himself. "No turning back." The battle raged on, each exchange of fire testing the limits of both vessels. Kale's tactical mind worked overtime, calculating trajectories and vulnerabilities. When a critical shot disabled the enemy's main weapon array, he seized the opportunity. Guiding the Eclipse into a daring maneuver, he rammed the crippled vessel, sending it spiraling toward the nearby asteroid field. Drax's voice crackled with fury. "You'll pay for this, Veron." But Kale was already plotting his next move. With the immediate threat neutralized, he turned his attention to the larger picture. If he wanted to clear his name and expose the corruption within the Council, he needed allies and resources. Kale's first stop was the planet of Terran, a hub of black market activity where secrets could be bought and sold. Disguised as a low-ranking trader, he infiltrated the bustling spaceport, blending into the chaos of dockworkers and smugglers. His cybernetic enhancements allowed him to move undetected, his enhanced senses picking up every detail around him. At a dingy bar called the Rusty Anchor, Kale met with an old contact named Lyra Solon, a former intelligence operative turned information broker. She recognized him immediately despite his disguise. "Kale Veron," she said, her tone tinged with caution. "What brings you here?" Kale purchased a drink and sat across from her, his gaze steady. "I need information about the attack on Vega Prime, specifically who orchestrated it."
Lyra hesitated,
glancing around nervously. "That's dangerous knowledge. Even asking could get you killed." "I'm already dead to them," Kale replied grimly. "Tell me what you know." Reluctantly, Lyra agreed to share what she had uncovered. According to her sources, the attack had been masterminded by none other than Admiral Drax himself, working in collusion with a shadowy organization known only as the Syndicate. Their goal was simple yet terrifying: to consolidate power by eliminating anyone who threatened their control over the galaxy. But there's more, Lyra added, lowering her voice. There's talk of something called Project Omega. Whatever it is, it has the potential to destabilize entire sectors. Kale clenched his fist. Project Omega. I'll find out what it means. Leaving the bar, Kale felt a renewed sense of purpose. The pieces were falling into place, revealing a conspiracy far greater than he had imagined. But uncovering the truth would require navigating treacherous waters filled with double crosses and hidden agendas. Seeking additional support, Kale traveled to the frontier colony of Nova Haven, a haven for dissidents and freedom fighters. Here, he hoped to rally like-minded individuals willing to stand against the oppressive regime. His arrival coincided with a gathering of rebel leaders, each representing various factions fighting against the Council's tyranny. Among them was Commander Ilara Voss, a fierce warrior with a reputation for leading successful guerrilla campaigns. Her sharp eyes assessed Kale as he entered the meeting hall. "Who are you?" she demanded. "My name is Kale Veron," he responded, standing tall. "Former captain of the Free Fleet. I've come to join your cause." Ilara exchanged skeptical glances with the others present. After verifying his identity, they agreed to hear his proposal. Kale laid out his plan. Unite the scattered resistance groups under a single banner, gather intelligence on Project Omega, and strike at the heart of the Syndicate's operations. "But why should we trust you?" asked Captain Renick Thane, a burly mercenary known for his brutal efficiency. "You're just another washed-up hero looking for redemption." Kale met his gaze unflinchingly. "Because I've seen the truth. Because I've lost everything to these bastards. And because I'm not afraid to die trying to set things right." His words resonated deeply with many in the room. Slowly, grudgingly, the leaders agreed to form a coalition. Together, they devised a strategy to infiltrate a high-security facility housing crucial data about Project Omega. It was risky, but it offered the best chance to dismantle the Syndicate's plans. Equipped with forged credentials and a team of hand-picked operatives, Kale led the assault on the Syndicate's stronghold. The facility, located deep within the gravity well of a gas giant, bristled with automated defenses. Security drones patrolled the corridors, their sensors attuned to detect even the slightest anomaly. Kale's team moved stealthily, using cloaking devices to avoid detection. As they descended deeper into the complex, they encountered increasingly sophisticated traps. Laser grids, pressure-sensitive floors, and bioscanners tested their ingenuity at every turn. Yet, driven by determination, they pressed onward. Their objective lay within the central vault, guarded by a towering automaton known as the Sentinel. Designed to repel intruders, the Sentinel possessed adaptive combat algorithms capable of analyzing and countering any attack pattern. Kale studied its movements carefully, searching for weaknesses. When the opportunity presented itself, Kale activated his cybernetic enhancements, boosting his reflexes and strength. With a calculated leap, he avoided the Sentinel's sweeping strikes, landing behind it. Using a specialized EMP device, he overloaded its systems, causing the massive construct to stagger and collapse. Inside the vault, they discovered files detailing Project Omega, a clandestine initiative aimed at creating a network of artificial intelligence-controlled superweapons. These weapons, if deployed, would give the Syndicate unprecedented dominance over the galaxy. As Kale and his team prepared to transmit the incriminating evidence to the rebels, they were ambushed by a faction within their own ranks. Commander Ilara Voss revealed herself to be a double agent, secretly working for the Syndicate. Her betrayal caught everyone off guard, forcing Kale to fight his way out of the facility amidst chaos and gunfire. "Ilara?" Kale growled, dodging a volley of blaster bolts. "Why? What do they have on you?" She sneered, her face twisted with contempt. "Freedom comes at a price, Kale. One I'm willing to pay. Now step aside. This ends here." Kale refused to yield, engaging her in a fierce duel. Despite her skill, he managed to overpower her, pinning her against a wall. "You think loyalty means nothing to me?" that I'd let you walk away after what you've done. Before he could deliver the final blow, reinforcements arrived, forcing Kale to retreat. Escaping with minimal casualties, he regrouped with his remaining allies, vowing to expose Alara's treachery and continue the fight. With renewed vigor, Kale rallied his forces, determined to bring down the Syndicate once and for all. Utilizing the intel gathered from Project Omega, they launched coordinated attacks on key installations across multiple sectors. Each victory chipped away at the Syndicate's influence, weakening their grip on the galaxy. However, the path forward was fraught with challenges. Internal divisions plagued the coalition, and morale wavered as losses mounted. Kale became a symbol of hope, delivering impassioned speeches to boost spirits and remind everyone of the ultimate goal. One day, he declared during a rally on a liberated moon, "We will look back on this time and see it as the dawn of a new era, an era free from oppression, where justice reigns supreme. We may falter, but we will never fall." His words inspired countless individuals to join the cause, swelling the ranks of the rebellion. Yet, Kale knew the fight was far from over. The Syndicate still held powerful cards, and their next move could prove devastating. The final confrontation took place at the Abyssal Rift, a sprawling orbital station serving as the Syndicate's command center. Surrounded by fleets of warships and legions of troops, Kale and his forces launched a daring assault. The battle raged across multiple fronts, with Kale personally leading charges against heavily fortified positions. During the chaos, Kale confronted Admiral Drax in a climactic duel. The two clashed with lethal precision, their skills honed through years of warfare. Drax taunted Kale, accusing him of being a relic of a bygone age. "Your kind is obsolete, Veron. Outdated. Useless." Kale responded with quiet intensity. "Perhaps, but I still fight for something worth dying for. Can you say the same?" In a stunning display of martial prowess, Kale disarmed Drax, sending his weapon skittering across the floor. Defeated, Drax sneered, "You may win today, but the Syndicate will rise again." "Not if I can help it," Kale replied grimly. With a swift motion, he incapacitated the Admiral, ensuring he would face justice. With Drax captured and the Syndicate dismantled, Kale emerged as a beacon of hope. The galaxy celebrated his triumph, though some questioned whether true peace could ever be achieved. Kale himself remained cautious, aware of the lingering shadows of corruption. He returned to the ruins of the Free Fleet, standing amidst the wreckage of his former glory. "We did it," he whispered, gazing at the stars. "But the real work begins now." Kale dedicated himself to rebuilding, fostering unity among disparate factions. Though scars remained, both physical and emotional, he found solace in the knowledge that his actions had paved the way for a brighter future. Years later, tales of Kale Veron's exploits became legend, inspiring generations to stand against tyranny. His name became synonymous with courage and resilience, etched forever in the annals of history. The Eclipse's Edge, now restored and refitted with advanced technology, served as a mobile base for Kale's ongoing efforts to promote peace and justice throughout the galaxy. Painted in bold hues of red and gold, it became a symbol of defiance against oppression. Kale rarely spoke publicly, preferring instead to lead by example. However, whenever he addressed gatherings of citizens and soldiers alike, his words carried weight. "The struggle is not over," he often reminded them. "Every generation must take up the mantle of freedom. Every soul must choose between complacency and courage." His leadership transcended mere military strategy. Kale understood that lasting change required addressing root causes of conflict. Under his guidance, educational programs were established to teach conflict resolution and empathy. Economic reforms sought to alleviate poverty and inequality, recognizing that desperation bred unrest. Yet, Kale remained acutely aware of the ever-present danger of complacency. He instituted regular drills and exercises, ensuring that the lessons learned during the rebellion were never forgotten. Despite his achievements, Kale retained a humble demeanor. He credited his success not solely to his own actions but to the countless individuals who had stood beside him, from loyal crewmates to newly recruited fighters. "We are stronger together," he would say. "Our strength lies not in individual might but in collective resolve." One evening, as twilight settled over the rebuilt fleet dockyards, Kale stood alone on the observation deck of the Eclipse's edge. The stars stretched endlessly above, a reminder of the vastness of the universe and humanity's place within it. "Do we deserve this?" he murmured aloud. A gentle breeze rustled his coat, carrying with it the faint scent of ocean winds, a memory from a childhood long past. Kale closed his eyes, letting the tranquility wash over him. For all the battles fought, the sacrifices made, and the victories won, Kale knew one thing for certain. The fight for justice was eternal, and he intended to see it through to the end. As decades passed, the galaxy began to heal. The scars left by centuries of war slowly faded, replaced by tentative steps toward unity. Kale's vision of a united front against oppression gained traction, inspiring leaders across the sectors to collaborate rather than compete. The Eclipse's edge became a beacon of hope, a symbol of what could be achieved when people worked together. Kale's diplomatic efforts bore fruit as trade agreements and mutual defense pacts strengthened alliances. Yet, beneath the surface, tensions simmered. Old rivalries died hard, and new threats emerged from the fringes of civilization. Among these emerging dangers was the phenomenon known as the Voidborn, an enigmatic race believed to have originated from the void between galaxies. Rumors circulated of their ability to manipulate reality, bending matter and energy to their will. Some dismissed the stories as superstition, while others whispered of a coming apocalypse. Kale convened a summit of sector leaders aboard the Eclipse's edge, seeking input on how to address this growing concern. "We cannot ignore the signs," he warned. "Whatever the Voidborn represent, they pose a threat unlike anything we've faced before." Delegates argued heatedly over strategies, some advocating preemptive strikes, others suggesting diplomacy. Kale listened intently, his cybernetic eye scanning the room for cues. "We need to act decisively," he concluded, "but we must also proceed with caution. The last thing we want is to provoke them unnecessarily." Determined to learn more about the Voidborn, Kale assembled a small expeditionary force. Comprising experts in xenobiology, astrophysics, and cryptography, the team set out to explore regions previously deemed too dangerous to traverse. Kale himself volunteered to lead the mission, driven by a mix of curiosity and dread. Their journey took them to the edge of known space, where stars dimmed and anomalies proliferated. Sensors detected strange distortions in spacetime, hinting at the presence of the Voidborn. As they ventured deeper, the crew encountered bizarre phenomena. Ships that vanished without a trace, planets that shifted positions overnight, and eerie echoes of voices speaking in languages no one recognized. One night, while reviewing data collected from a derelict probe, Kale noticed patterns resembling ancient symbols etched into the probe's hull. Consulting with linguist Dr. Lila Voss, a distant relative of Alara, they deciphered fragments of a message. It spoke of balance, harmony, and the inevitability of change. "The Voidborn aren't invaders," Lila surmised. "They're messengers, or perhaps guardians." Kale pondered her words. If that's true, then why do they inspire such fear? Their investigations brought them to a massive structure floating in the void, a colossal monolith pulsating with energy. Drawing closer, they detected faint signals emanating from within. Kale ordered the team to prepare for entry, despite the risks. Inside the monolith, the explorers found themselves in a surreal environment. Walls shimmered like liquid metal, shifting colors unpredictably. Gravity fluctuated, making movement challenging. At the center of the chamber stood a pedestal bearing a crystalline artifact, glowing softly. Approaching the artifact, Kale felt an inexplicable pull, as though the object recognized him. His cybernetic enhancements reacted strangely, interfacing seamlessly with the crystal. Images flooded his mind, visions of the galaxy's creation, its evolution, and its inevitable decline. "You seek understanding," a voice resonated within his thoughts. "Few have come this close. Fewer still survive the encounter." Kale steadied himself, focusing on his breathing. What are you? I am the Keeper, the voice replied, guardian of the void, witness to countless cycles of birth and destruction. What do you want from us? To warn you, the Keeper answered. Change is imminent. Balance must be restored. Failure to adapt will result in extinction. Kale's mind raced. How can we prevent this? Unity, the Keeper said simply. Strength through diversity. Trust in one another. Embrace the unknown. Before Kale could ask further questions, the connection broke, leaving him reeling. The artifact fell silent, and the chamber began to destabilize. Back aboard the Eclipse's edge, Kale shared his experience with the crew. While some dismissed it as a hallucination induced by stress, others took the Keeper's warning seriously. Kale initiated discussions with sector leaders, emphasizing the need for cooperation and preparation. We can't afford to wait until it's too late, he argued. The Keeper spoke of cycles. If this is part of one, we need to act now. Resistance to his proposals was fierce. Many saw the Keeper's warnings as alarmist, unwarranted. Others feared the implications of tampering with forces beyond comprehension. Kale persisted, rallying supporters and building coalitions. Meanwhile, reports of voidborn activity increased. Ships disappeared without explanation. Entire colonies went dark. Panic spread, fueling rumors of doom. Kale worked tirelessly to calm fears, reminding people of the Keeper's emphasis on unity. The climax came when a massive voidborn construct appeared in orbit around a populated world. Its sheer size dwarfed anything humanity had ever encountered. Kale assembled a task force to intercept it, knowing full well the stakes. As they approached, the construct emitted a pulse that disrupted communications and weapon systems. Kale's cybernetic enhancements provided limited protection, allowing him to maintain focus. Drawing on the Keeper's advice, he sought to establish a dialogue rather than engage in combat. To everyone's astonishment, the Voidborn responded. Through holographic projections, they communicated their intent, not as conquerors but as catalysts for transformation. You have chosen to embrace change, the Voidborn representative declared. We honor your resolve. Together, we can forge a new beginning. Kale nodded, his heart pounding. Then let us begin. The galaxy stood on the brink of a new era, shaped by the choices made in that pivotal moment. And Kale Veron, once a lone space pirate, had become its guiding light. Subscribe now to follow more thrilling adventures through the stars.